Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Vibes Digest. It's your host, Cameron St. Clair, and today I have a very special guest, DJ Ryn Hills.
What's going on?
Hey. Okay, so we're filming this on a Monday, which is what we typically record, and I'm curious, how was your weekend?
Our weekend was lit.
What did you do?
Right.
Did you like DJ anywhere, or did you just like have a chill weekend?
Yeah, both, which is my favorite.
Okay, cool. Where
Yeah.
did you DJ?
Let me see. Saturday, we just did Deluxe Flux.
What's Deluxe Flux?
Deluxe Flux.
never
It's a
heard of it.
venue. It's in Manhattan. It's
Okay.
super cool. It's got like a bunch of like graffiti on the walls and stuff.
Where's it located?
Like Lower Manhattan.
Lower Manhattan, East or West? Is it like Lower East Side
Maybe,
vibes?
maybe Lower East Side.
You're like, I have no clue. I just phoned up.
Hop on the Uber and pulled up.
That's
It was
real.
lit though,
That's
lit
real. Did you only DJ at that one place?
Yeah, for this
Yeah.
weekend, yeah.
Oh, so it was pretty chill, I feel like.
Yeah, that was all the energy I needed for this weekend.
That's real.
Then I
That's
kinda
real.
kicked it on Sunday, so that was cool.
Have you been busy though? These like past, I guess, January and February. Do you feel like you've been getting a lot of gigs, or has it been pretty chill?
It gets a little slower in the winter time.
I've heard that. That's why I was curious.
It's I mean, it's still like I'm full time, so I still work every weekend, but
Yeah.
compared to summer, it's like summer I'll be doing 3 parties on one day and running around.
Yeah. That's wild.
So,
Okay, we're gonna get to that part at
Yeah.
the end. But no, that's why I was curious. Like one felt like pretty slow, but it sounds like you're like, I'm happy, like I'm cool
yeah,
with that
nah,
right
it
now.
gives me time to plan and prepare for summer and do some cool things. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Well, I had a crazy weekend. I went
Yeah,
to
how was your weekend?
Miami.
How's Miami?
It was so good. It's funny because the whole reason why this trip even happened was with my friend, and I was like, oh, I've been really busy.
Mhm.
I've been traveling a lot for work. I just want to travel for fun.
Yeah.
And so she recommended Miami, but like every day we didn't get home until 6, 5, 7.
I'm jealous.
What? No, because I was looking for rest, and she was like, "No, we're on go."
Nah,
One day
out
we
of
got
Miami.
back. Literally, we went to the strip club. We get back, and when we get to the hotel, there's a family waiting for their Uber
That's lit.
for the airport. Like, and we are in like these tight mini skirts, 5-inch pumps.
Nah,
I
yeah.
am so literally the mother saw the dad, and her eyes were like,
Yep, welcome to Miami.
literally the sun is rising.
Which club was it?
Booby trap.
Okay.
Have you heard of
Okay.
Booby
I'm
Trap?
from Orlando. I'm from Florida.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
All right, let's chat about it, because I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed.
Really? I mean, I haven't been. This is how old school. I haven't been to strip club in Miami since Live.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Wait, Liv?
Live. I don't know if it's still around, but that was like.
Liv is still around, but I didn't know there were like strippers. Not 11? You're like, no, it's Liv.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Live, and then the other one. What's the other one? Whatever.
Yeah, it might. Interesting. I've never been to Liv. We didn't go there.
Okay.
Booby Trap, everyone kept telling me was like, it's not like fancy, it's not bougie, it's a little ghetto.
Okay, all right. Sometimes.
But that's what I wanted. I wanted
yeah.
that.
Little hole in the wall.
But it was no, it was a hole in the wall.
Okay.
First of all, I saw like your stereotypical Haitian dudes
Yep.
with the wigs, and I was like, oh, I'm
we
in Florida.
Florida.
Yes, I'm in Florida.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, have you heard of P Valley? Okay, so there's this like show on Stars, and it's called P Valley.
Yeah.
Now I wasn't expecting folks to be looking like Mercedes,
Right,
like doing
right.
like splits and twerking on the ceiling.
Mhm.
But them girls, I feel like I should never look and be like, I could do that.
Oh.
No, like literally hand on the pole and just twerking, and that was it.
I mean,
And
what'd you expect it to be like?
I wanted somebody to hold themselves up. I want to see some tricks. I want to see a
okay.
split. I was seeing
Okay.
nothing.
Yeah.
Is that like normal?
I feel like it all depends.
This was my first time, so
Yeah.
I was like really having high hopes.
Right.
But
Right.
no.
It's okay. I'm not a
okay.
big strip club person. I get bored after like 30 minutes.
And I see why.
But
Honestly,
but some
I
people have a
see
great time.
why.
I be chilling.
Well, I guess it depends, because some of the guys were definitely there with like their dudes just having a good time with the music, throwing money. Then some of the guys, I was like, oh, like this is why some women are like, yeah, my man is not going to the strip club, like fully having the most erotic lap dance in public next to me. And I'm like, oh, this is this is shocking,
Yep.
jarring a little
Mhm.
bit. But
Definitely.
yeah, I think they were probably having more fun, I'm gonna guess, than
Yeah.
you were
Yeah.
after
I
30
feel
minutes.
like, like the one time I went, there was a stripper. She was really cool.
Mhm.
She was like, "Wow, like, I love your hair." I thought she was feeling me.
Ryan, please.
I was like, "Yeah, how are you? How was your weekend?"
But you were trying to really chat it
I
up with
didn't know
her?
this was part of the job.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
so
babes. That's
yeah.
so
And then another one, like low key, kind of like. Long story short, I had my little money. I was saving it for the right one.
Okay, keep going.
And so this other girl like saw like I had some cash in my hand, and she comes over. I'm like, this wasn't the right one though.
Oh, that wasn't the right one.
She wasn't the
Got
right one
it.
though. And she didn't care.
Okay.
She took the money out of my hand and threw it on herself.
Oh, that was bold.
Yeah. And,
Wow.
once it hits the ground,
That's
it.
That's it. Wait, how do you even react? Like,
I was shocked.
I would be shocked too. Like, oh, well, cool.
Time to go.
Right. That's it. That's
But,
hilarious.
yeah,
But okay, I'm curious because my friend MJ and I, that's who I went with, and we were like, how often do like Florida locals actually go down to Miami? Do you think that you were like going pretty often?
I don't know.
No, not really.
Like often enough.
We were curious because I'm like, you have this beautiful beach that's,
Mhm.
I mean, Orlando, I'm pretty sure it's ours because I know Florida's huge.
Yeah, it's like 3.5, 4.
3.5. Okay.
Mhm.
I just feel like if I had access to a beach like that, I'd probably be going like once a month.
Well, yeah. Well, so Orlando specifically is like in
Yeah.
the center. So
Mm-hmm.
we've got beaches. We're
Oh.
equidistant from like Cocoa Beach and like Daytona Beach and all these other beaches.
Okay.
We got Tampa right there, Clearwater. So there's a lot of.
True. There's a lot of options.
You
That's
know,
so fair.
You don't
So
have
it's
to go
like,
4
why would I go
hours
all
to
the way
South
down?
Beach. Where all
That makes
the
sense.
crazy people is that?
No, true. I will say we were technically mid beach. We kept saying we were South Beach, and there were other like Florida locals like, no, you were
Mhm.
mid beach. Because I was like, wow,
Mhm.
it's so quiet and peaceful. And they're like, yeah, because you're not in South
Right,
Beach.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
South Beach is a little overrated anyway, to be honest.
We went to my parents actually recommended this like taco spot called Serena, tied to the Moxie. Good food.
Okay.
But that was like South Beach. And I said,
Mhm.
oh, there are children everywhere.
Yeah.
Because it's almost
yeah.
spring break time. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, I felt way too old to be around there.
Gotta go to Lauderdale. That's where it's at.
Somebody else said that.
Yeah.
Really? Because I
Mhm.
felt like there was a lot of spring breakers around there too.
Yeah, but you get a little more diversity, I guess, or something.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's
That's
not
fair.
as like touristy Miami. It's like
Yeah.
more,
like true like Florida representation.
Like if you've been there, done that,
Okay.
you end up going to Lauderdale type stuff.
Okay.
For the beaches.
Next time.
Mhm.
Future reference.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in my back pocket. I kind of want to also talk about Rolling Loud, but I'm going back and forth. All right, we're gonna jump around a little bit in this episode. I had like the most perfect transition, but I already know our conversation about Drake is gonna take longer.
Oh man.
So we're gonna first talk about Rolling Loud happened this past weekend. Did you see any like clips of folks' performances?
Nope.
No.
How was it?
It was crazy from what I saw.
Mhm.
ASAP Rocky, he entered the stadium with, or it's not really a stadium, but the stage via helicopter.
Oh shit.
Oh, he was on one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
already
like he just
know.
beat a cake.
I was gonna say he was celebrating.
Yeah,
I
like
already know.
this was a victory lap for
Oh, yeah.
him. His performance was really good. I love that he brought Skepta on there. They did Praise the Lord.
Fire.
Yeah,
Got to.
amazing
Mhm.
performance. I do find it fascinating that like ASAP is always somehow headlining Rolling Loud. I don't know what is going on there
That's a great.
contractually.
Yeah. I don't. That's a great question.
Have you noticed that? It's
I-
like every year.
Now that you pointed it out,
Yeah.
but I haven't heard like a new single from ASAP.
Since when? Like literally, I think what was that like pre-pandemic?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. He's also supposed to be dropping his album though. And apparently, so that was something else I saw, like clips of new music, and they were like teasing some new songs.
Mhm.
Are you excited for his
For
album?
A$AP?
Yeah, or are
I'm
you not like
I'm
a bit?
excited for Rihanna's upcoming album. think it's gonna be
Do you
fire.
think that's actually gonna be? I don't.
I mean, she's a mom now, so I'm sure she's got
but she's been teasing this since like 2016 that there's gonna be a ninth album, and we are in
But she's
2025.
been going through her man's almost went to jail, the kids.
But that's like more recent. I mean, I would love for another album to come on, but I just don't believe her. Every time she says it's happening, it's like another year or two.
Right. Who else did that though? Kendrick did that. Remember when Kendrick said he's gonna drop an album? We waited for
Okay.
like 20 years.
Oh, 20 years is crazy.
We made it a long time.
20 years is crazy. No, because Damn. Okay, no, but Damn was 2016, and I feel like Mr. Morale was 2021 maybe.
What about what's the Butterfly one?
Oh, yeah.
Was that after Damn or before Damn?
Before. Yeah. Yeah, that was before.
You know.
You're not tapped in, right? That's crazy. As a DJ, okay,
it
wait.
takes so long.
Okay. Art, it takes a little bit. It takes long when you're writing your own stuff. I'm just saying.
I feel it.
I'm just saying.
I feel it.
But when it comes to Rocky, have you ever played Rocky in like a club?
Yeah.
Especially in New York, right?
Yeah,
so
of
like,
course.
I feel like new material that would probably go up. You're like, no, I want Rihanna.
I mean, Rocky, Rocky's fine. He's like known for other things besides music though.
Fashion and stuff. Yeah. I think he's trying to like switch his brand over for sure. Like similar to Rihanna, honestly. Like I think that's why she's not as pressed to drop albums, because she's making more money when it comes to fashion, her businesses. What's it called? Beauty and makeup. Like that's how she's a billionaire.
Yeah.
So
right.
It might be a while, but the other thing that was like trending on social was about Gelo's performance.
Okay. Is it good? What was the vibes?
I think people were upset that he was cosplaying a hood dude. What they're saying, he had like a Louisiana accent on there. He was like shirtless, and the way he was acting a little out of character. Like his daddy wasn't a professional basketball player. And he grew up in a very nice home. Yeah.
What did y'all expect?
I think, honestly, like knowing what that song is, which I didn't expect the longevity to be this long. I thought this was like like a little for fun moment. No, it's becoming a whole thing.
Yeah.
Have you played it?
I played it on Saturday. I know.
And people wow. Wait, that's actually hilarious.
Yeah, it is hilarious.
Because that's so shocking. I feel like maybe that's just like a trendy like social media moment. I thought everybody was laughing, but no, people are like enjoying it.
It's lies. I mean, granted, like right now, currently, where we at March.
Yeah.
We don't have like our song of the summer yet.
That's so true.
So we're kind of still latching on to some of the last year stuff a little bit.
Wait, do you have a prediction though? Because I actually am shocked that like you don't think we've have a song of the summer yet.
Nah, not yet. I think
Nokia?
I think Drake dropped it too early.
Really?
I feel like by summer it'll be going.
Somebody else is gonna come in.
Yes,
Interesting.
You should have held that.
So from your experience though, when do you feel like around what month is like the perfect time for an artist who's like looking for this is the song of the summer?
Right, like drop it in May.
So the top of the summer.
I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
Like
that's
April
real.
earliest, but when did you drop Nokia? It was still cold.
Yeah, it was last month. I think Valentine's Day. So yeah, that's true. That's true. I do wonder, when did Not Like Us drop? Was that May?
Not like my
don't
days.
Don't look at me like that.
They all kind of run together. That was like it was
like
summer.
May.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
summer,
that
though.
makes it easier for it to be a summer song. That's why I was curious. Right. Okay. Dang.
I mean, maybe, but
I think right now only because it was going up in Miami, but I feel like, well, duh. Like I feel like any Drake song goes up in Miami, but it also feels like summer down there currently. So
right.
Let's see if I guess it's still gonna be like a hit song in June.
We'll see.
It's looking like it. There's not a lot of music dropping right now.
It's wide open. It's wide open.
So many options. Which, speaking of which, that's gonna be how I transition to Playboy Carti, our Vibe Spotlight. Yeah. He finally dropped. Speaking of an artist who claims for years that he's working on this new project, I want to say like I saw somewhere that his record label literally was at risk of having to pay back all his fans their pre-ordered money because that's how long people have been waiting.
Well, they're gonna wait. It's
They gonna wait, but
yeah,
like
they're gonna wait.
legally, they were gonna have to pay it back.
Oh,
Yeah, isn't that
that's a
crazy?
little crazy.
Like that's insane.
Oh.
But thoughts? Was it what we expected?
Yeah, I mean, you know, okay, I'll be honest. I
Be
didn't hear the
honest.
whole album, but I got the gist.
Yeah.
You know, you get to like 3-4 songs, you're like, all right, this is Carti.
Did you skip around or did you listen in order?
I might have skipped around a little bit.
Okay. Did you hear any of the songs with Kendrick? He had like 2.
Heard the song with Kendrick. He had 2 songs with Kendrick.
Yeah, which I didn't even peep. Like
Oh yeah, that one.
there was I did not write down one, but Backdoor was my favorite, and that was with Janae Akio and Kendrick.
Okay.
That was such a good song.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm shocked that he had 2 songs with Kendrick.
Yeah, the other one I heard, Good Shit or something like that. Good.
Yeah, yeah. Let me pull it up.
You're right. It was cool.
I'm like,
it was cool.
Oh, you don't sound impressed by it.
I liked
Good Credit.
Good Credit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool. I liked I liked a few songs on there.
Do you remember the names, or you're like, I would have to go through?
So was it like Fine Shit or Fine Chick, whatever?
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was cool.
Yeah.
There's another one.
I liked his song with Philly with Travis Scott. Was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He also had multiple songs with Travis Scott. Oh my gosh, he has like 4 or 5 songs on here with him. That's insane.
Right.
I think my biggest takeaway from it was just like the same sound. It almost sounded like the same exact producer, although we know like there were definitely multiple, but each song after a while I'm like, okay, but it's hard because when that beat drops, it hits.
It goes crazy.
It hits. So don't fix it if it's not broken, I guess.
I feel like maybe the song order, like the album order, could have been played with a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I know like some of my friends, they like hit play and it comes on just bow, like, just off rip. But and I think some people were a little.
Do you pay attention to that? Because I'm definitely one of those people. Like I almost always listen to albums in the exact order when it's when it first drops. I can like understand. I imagine maybe not all artists think this deeply, but I imagine that they kind of like put the songs in a specific order that they want it to be listened to.
Yeah.
Do you feel like as a listener though that's actually like necessary? You're like it depends on the artist.
It depends on the artist, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's like someone who is more thoughtful about their craft.
Like a J. Cole.
Yeah, like a Kendrick, like, Beyonce, somebody who's like, okay, I could tell you're trying to tell a story here.
Mm-hmm.
But Carti, you know the vibes.
Really? Okay. I'm curious. I saw this debate through another podcast, and they were debating whether or not Carti is a superstar. And like,
what's the debate?
They feel like one person said yes, one person said no.
Yeah.
You think he is?
Yeah, Carti's a star.
Do you feel, I guess their whole conversation was like Carti on the same level, like we consider Beyonce a superstar. So like, do we think that I don't know, I guess that's tough because Carti's fan base is honestly just as crazy as the Beehive.
Yeah.
But like musically.
They're like 2 different eras, And like Beyonce comes from that era of like superstars that were like kind of untouchable, like really superstars. Now, because like whatever, TikTok, social media and stuff like that.
Right.
We can keep tabs of our superstars a little more.
Yeah.
They're not as mystified.
Yeah.
So, and there's so many different superstars, subgenres.
That's fair. That's fair. Then would you consider like a Travis Scott a superstar?
I guess, yeah.
Okay, but that's interesting because you didn't have as like a clear response to like Travis Scott, but you do with Carti. So you feel like Carti's at a higher level than Travis?
I feel like Carti fans will let you know, right? I've heard people come and be like, yo, play Carti. Where like Travis Scott,
They really want to hear Carti in the club?
Recently.
Really?
Yeah, recently. Yeah.
Even before this album drop?
A little bit.
Wow,
Not as
okay.
much, but he still has some bops I like.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
I feel like Travis is like Travis, I felt like he had that earlier when he started. Like
That's so true. Yeah.
he had that whole like, oh, this is, I don't know what he talks about now. Like I feel like Travis just
Yeah.
kind of skates over the beat. Well, so does Carti, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's not much depth. Is that what you're saying, like in his words and stuff?
Basically,
That's
yeah,
fair.
yeah.
That's fair. Oh, well, you already answered my question about like, what do you play Carti in the club
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
playing this album? I feel like this is this might take a second for you to think about. What song would you transition into? So like, let's say, I mean, we just said Carti songs sound so similar. So just think of any Carti song. What's another artist you think would like smoothly transition into Carti?
I already, so on Saturday, for instance, what was it? I had 2 Carti songs I played too. I played one off his new album and I played older Carti. Oh.
Yeah.
So I went from Carrie Hilson, Pretty Girl Rock.
Okay.
Into the Pretty Girl Rock, 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 into Magnolia.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Rock.
Oh, that's cute. That's a good one. Because I was like, where are you going with it?
All about the wordplay.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
I love that. And that's also catering to 2 different audiences too. Again, I already warned y'all, I'm jumping around in this episode because typically I keep the interview at the end, but it's so hard because I have so many questions.
Nah, hit me.
But I always am curious, like, how do DJs, especially male DJs, cater both to like the ladies and also the men? Because it's hard.
What man?
You don't think that there's
Who be seeing a man?
Okay, but like, what woman wants to hear like Magnolia in the club?
Like, you'd be surprised.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're strictly catering to like the ladies when it comes to DJing.
I wouldn't say strictly, but me personally.
Yeah.
I'm like 70-30.
Oh, you mean like the type of audience you bring out?
Both. Like the type of audience I bring out and who I'm catering to.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, for the spaces that I'm in, the guys are there for the girls. And the girls are there for the guys who are there for the girls. So if the girls are happy, everybody's happy, basically.
Yeah, that's a good mindset. That's a good mindset. Because I hate going out and it's just like straight. Dude, I'm trying not to curse, but I'm like, you know what I'm coming from.
I mean,
like, can we get a woman in here, please?
I feel like, and like, women like to turn up too. It's not like, like all the artists out now, like Gelo, they're beastly hard. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not like they don't like it. But if you're looking at my set,
you can tell you're catering to a woman.
It's a good mix.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, because sometimes some of y'all dudes, y'all be playing too much like deep cut drill Bronx music. Like, all right, I'm going home.
It's a time and a place. It's a time and a place.
It's a time and a place, but also like look at your audience too.
Right.
Yeah, completely agree.
Yeah.
Completely agree. Did you see Kanye West's tweets about Carti's album?
Nah.
Oh, well, his tweets this past weekend has also been crazy. But he said something like, I like Kendrick Lamar, but I don't want to listen to a Playboy Carti album to hear Kendrick Lamar.
I ain't gonna lie, that one's not as crazy.
It's not as crazy as what he's been saying.
I can see a world where like...
Yeah.
I was listening to Kendrick and like this Chris Brown song. What's that song? Autumn Leaves or something like that.
Oh,
it's a throwback Chris Brown song.
Okay.
Kendrick. This is old Kendrick.
Okay. Not good.
Chris didn't really need Kendrick on that one.
That's fair.
I can see I can see a world where...
That's fair. How do you feel about... Oh, I'm about to say something so controversial. And I've been so scared. I've been trying to find the right person to say this statement to. What you just said about like Kendrick not being needed on that Chris Brown song is how I feel a lot of times when it comes to Ty Dolla sign.
Oh, really? I'm sorry. I mean, go ahead.
Wait, that reaction. nobody ever agrees with me, but I feel like sometimes we don't need him on the song.
Like what song though? If it's a song with Ty Dolla and Kanye, I'm listening for Ty Dolla.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like Carnival, I'm listening for Kanye.
To say what?
What is like Ty saying besides a freaking chorus?
That's the main part.
I have a few feelings about this. I would have to literally pull up some of the songs. I always reference Hot Girl Summer. That's when I started firmly saying to everybody there was no need for this man to be on this song.
I feel that.
But I think there's a few other like rap songs where it just didn't really make sense. Like I feel that way in general with quite a few rap songs where we didn't need someone singing. Mm-hmm. We don't always need somebody singing on this hard beat. That's not really necessary.
I feel that. I feel like Ty Dolla $ign. That's a catchy dude. You don't think he's catchy?
He's repetitive.
Fair.
I think like it's all the same.
Fair.
Songs. It's all the same songs. Oh, I'm gonna catch so much smoke. Ugh, I'm gonna bring this up with another guest. I need to find somebody who's gonna actually agree with me.
So there's no Ty Dolla $ign that you're like, oh, this is my jam.
There's songs like Or Nah. I would say like
good.
That makes sense. Let me pull up his list. I'm not a big enough fan where like I would know everything off the back. See, yeah, Carnival, I just felt like, okay, Hit Different, that makes sense.
That was good.
But you notice how I'm like mentioning like R&B, like style,
yeah, that's his lane. Yeah.
But sometimes he'll be on songs where it's like, do we need it? Would be just like certain like rap songs. I'm like, I don't know, like Field Trip, for example. Like I'm thinking Vultures mainly. Okay. I don't think those two should be collaborating with each other. It's a vibe that makes sense because that's like a smooth beat. Some of this other stuff.
I don't know, like you would listen to Kanye over Ty Dolla $ign right now?
Yes. F some Kanye only needed to be on that.
What? Crazy. Wait, I gotta think. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Ever since when did Kanye fall off?
Oh, that's such a hard. Some people say Life of Pablo is like when he started to really fall off. I would say, honestly, I would even say The Life of Pablo might be his last like amazing like no skip album. And I'm a huge Kanye West fan when it comes to his like music. I think he's an absolute idiot. Yeah. But I saw someone tweet that Kanye West is just like your neighborhood crackhead that like you ignore. You like entertain, but you ignore. But he has a platform.
Right.
And so it just makes it way worse. You know?
Right.
So yeah, I think The Life of Pablo is like his last like no skip album.
Okay.
I think Donda has some really good songs.
Okay.
But then guess what? We go to Vultures. So I feel like, but can we blame Kanye or could we blame Ty Dolla $ign?
For Vultures? What did Kanye? I gotta. What's his best verse on Vultures?
Oh, don't ask me his best song. I actually think F Some is like a good. I run to that song. Yeah. And Carnival, I think is good too.
I was at the gym. I was
yeah. Songs. And you think that we need to hear some singing in that?
I didn't remember me being like, "Oh, Kanye's part's coming on. This is my part." I don't even remember his verse, honestly.
That's fair.
And I'm a fan of Kanye's music and stuff. That's the hook. That's the.
Ignore that. Ignore that. Ignore that. This is also Ty, isn't
exactly.
it? Okay. You know what?
Exactly.
Wait, is he? Hold up. I'm
right. What was all that? What was all
that? I know exactly his part. This, I'll do this for my audio listeners. I'm definitely gonna have to like talk over this for YouTube. Right. I thought this doesn't make sense mixed with Ty. So, but like maybe you're saying then we could have gotten rid of Kanye.
I feel like he always says something that I'm like,
it's out of pocket.
Did you need to say that? Right.
That's fair.
Like, huh?
Okay, maybe Vultures is a bad example.
Maybe. Maybe. You just highlighted Ty though, so maybe it was a good example. I'm not mad at it.
Not sure changing my opinion. I just, yeah, okay, fine. I
You
guess.
know.
I think there's a few other songs like outside of Vultures. And even like there was some song that he did with Tyler, the creator, that didn't really make sense to me either. And a few Drake songs, I'm like, this was kind of pushing it. But then there are artists like Mac Miller, for example, like that was a beautiful like collab that they did. And like again, SZA, like that makes sense to me. I just think it's like maybe the artist that he's going with, it doesn't always match up in my opinion.
I can see that.
And maybe I'm also a hater.
No,
Like,
no,
I
I
don't need to hear
think
Ty everywhere.
Hot Girl Summer was a great example of like, all right.
Like this was forced.
Yeah.
And it almost changes like how the rappers rap.
Definitely.
Like we didn't need a Nicki and Meg song to sound poppy, but it's almost like he makes artists. And maybe that's where my beef is when it comes to Vultures. I'm getting to it. I'm getting to the reason.
Okay.
I feel like if Kanye were to do another collab album with anybody else, we would have gotten a different style of Kanye. But I feel like because he's working with Ty, he's trying to like rap against his singing voice. We're now getting more of like this poppy weird sound from him.
Right. I don't know. I think Kanye's been trying to be
pop in general.
For a minute.
That's fair. Yeah.
And either way, he's not talking about
much of anything.
Much. If I F this model and she just bleached her butthole. What are we talking about?
No, that was real though.
It was catchy, but like, what are we talking about?
That was real though, and he might get bleach on his t-shirt. I mean, now he gonna feel like a butthole. Like that was real.
Did she just bleach it? You couldn't wait a day?
He could not wait a day, and now he got bleach on his t-shirt. He's storytelling.
I can relate. I'm playing. I don't know. I don't know much about it.
I'm crying.
I'm gonna have an even hotter take than you. Ty Dolla as a feature. It's a skit.
Really? What?
Thank you.
No to Ty.
Wait.
No to Ty.
Why? Wait, can I include? I don't have to say your name. I kind of want to include this in here.
You can say my name and everything, but it's very much the same.
My engineer just agreed with me. Thank you. And that's where I'm trying to come across. You said that perfectly.
Yeah.
It feels like this is gonna be exaggerated.
Yeah.
It feels like when Imagine Dragons or something.
Yes.
When did Ty become this pop? I didn't know Ty was.
I think
he. You know what I think?
I think he is.
You know what he feels like to me sometimes?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh wait, Flo Rida. Oh.
Damn.
Okay, he's a little bit better than Flo Rida.
Flo Rida
was like pop. If you saw
True. You knew what that song was gonna be. Yes. Okay.
He gives me the same like if I see that.
You just explained it perfectly. For those, like, I don't know if you guys could hear Remy, my lovely engineer, who was, because he's not on mic right now, but he just agreed with me and you explained it perfectly. Basically, what I'm trying to get at is exactly what he just said. Whenever you see like a rapper featuring a Ty Dolla song, you just know it's gonna be a pop song, and so that's not really what I want.
I'm trying to do an R&B song.
He said that's like Meek Mill trying to do an R&B song, and yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, like like I was saying, like it almost changes how the rapper is rapping, and it's like sometimes, like God forbid, I hear a 21 Savage with Ty Dolla sign, like I'm pissed. Like that's like not what like I'm pissed. Like and I agree with my engineer. Like I'm skipping the song.
That's crazy.
And so maybe it's not even necessarily a bad song. It's just like not what I want to hear. Like I don't want to hear those two type of artists collaborating.
Interesting. Is it when did he get this pop? I thought he was like hood R&B or something.
You think?
No.
I don't get those vibes at all.
I'm not saying he was never that.
I mean, I don't.
Maybe
I don't
he
know.
used to be, but I feel like I would give you R&B, but I would never give like hood R&B.
I mean,
I'm trying to think of like someone to compare him to. He's not as R&B as like The Weeknd, for example. But like if you want to talk about hood R&B, like you know when Future loves to get into his little love songs, like that's hood R&B, you know? Ty for me.
Are you saying Ty's like
I feel like he makes pop music.
Like Jeremih? How Jeremih is a like
I can't with the Jeremih.
What?
But Jeremih is better than Ty, I have to say. Ty Jeremih makes hits.
Jeremih.
You don't like Jeremih?
I'm actually I've.
You know what makes me furious about Jeremih? He be featuring all songs where
Yeah.
verse or his part of the song, he'll make the hook and it'll be like the best song ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's one specific song where for 2/3 of the song, it's just Jeremih. Like he's the hook, he's the first verse, and then he's the hook.
Yeah.
And the actual artist
it's trash.
And it's trash.
I'd be playing it on repeat like the other.
He has a great voice. I just feel like Jeremih.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has his own sound.
Oh, that's fair.
Like,
have you listened to his last album?
No, I did not listen to his last album.
It came out like last year.
When did it come out?
Last year.
What's it sound like?
So it sounds like. Do you remember?
I hope you guys can hear him because I feel so bad for the audio. Strictly.
The album's called Late Nights, and if you look at it,
or maybe I did see
the
it.
Late Nights is the original.
Oh
Late
yes.
Nights is like the OG.
Yeah.
Sounds like that.
Okay.
But the new one,
I feel like he's been trying to find his sound for a minute.
But is he trying to find his sound or did he create a sound? Because I feel like Jeremih was like one of the first like hood, if you want to say that, hood R&B style singers. Like he came out way before everyone else.
Did he? I feel like he came out after Ty Dolla $ign. You know, Ty's been out for a minute. Think about
that's true.
Tooted and Booted. Well, YG, that old ass song.
Yeah. Okay,
Versus,
you're thinking old.
I mean, that's the first time I heard Ty Dolla $ign, and then the first time I heard
not
like
the first time I heard Ty
Jeremih
Dolla
was like, "Don't tell him" or something.
Yeah, but then there's also like Down on Me.
Oh yeah, Down on Me.
But then the next
See, but so he came out. That was like during that like when like Wayne was everywhere and like
yeah, because I'm thinking like 08.
The OG Late Nights. He came out with another album called Late Nights with Jeremih.
Got you.
And since then he's been doing up features.
I gotta hear it.
I'm telling you.
I gotta hear it.
I gotta hear it too.
You say House at all?
Yeah.
New house song from this Friday. Jeremih is the vocal.
I'm not saying it's not heat, but it's another testament of like what is his sound.
I will say his style is the vocal performance. I feel like the vocal performance is a reliable vocal performance.
That's
like the same way that you listen to Roy Woods. And Roy Woods' vocal performance is unique in the way that Roy Woods. Like,
that's a cop out. That's a cop out. That's a cop out.
I feel like there's certain R&B singers.
Your voice is your sound. That's a cop out.
If you're a singer.
Yeah, that's a cop out. Cause I mean, it gives like.
Why is Roy Woods a cop out? For this example, he's not saying Roy Woods is.
I just think it's like one of those things where like you can jump on anything. It has a lot of pros to it. You can jump on anything, sound really good. But like if I'm coming to you for your thing, it just gives like whatever the trending sound is your sound now. Basically.
Could we not say that about the average artist though? Like Drake, does Drake have a signature sound anymore, or does he just hop on any song and follow that?
Made it cool to hop on any song, and you know,
well,
you know what, Drake's sound.
I would reverse that, where like Drake is cool because he has grown with the times. That is the thing that has kept Drake from.
That's fair, but he still doesn't have his own sound.
I don't disagree with that.
I think Drake does have his own sound because he's partnered with a producer, 2 producers, right? 40 and Boy Wonder. What's the other one?
Yeah.
Right.
I agree with that. I don't think his unique sound is. I think his unique sound is the way that he fits on beats, like in terms of like rhythm.
I'll say this.
And then their attention to detail and how the song is constructed.
I'll say this. When you think of the underwater sound, who do you think of?
Underwater sound?
Like that, you know, when like the beat goes underwater or whatever, like it sounds like this. Like that, like when they cut the highs, you know what I'm talking about. But that's Drake. That like.
You think that's Drake?
That like lo-fi, like.
I was gonna go like a party. But people say that Drake stole Party's sound.
No, I didn't say his sound was original.
He just made it popular. Because that's why I say, like, I don't think Drake. I think like an underwater, like kind of rapping. Yeah, like you said, like rapping or singing, like it sounds like muffled, essentially. I think Party.
He's got a few.
That sounds
like,
muffled.
Yeah, cups of that rose. What song was that?
This is my
Okay, but that's so
my,
old.
like, representation for Drake in my head.
Yeah. Back
That's
to
like
back
rapper
is.
Drake though.
Wait, this is such a funny.
Yes.
Wait, what about?
He just said that there are two representations of Drake, Hotline Bling or Back to Back. That's hilarious. No, but that's real. Or like your super hard Drake. Yeah, that's real. That's real.
What about
and that's what I mean by he doesn't have his own
Caribbean
sound.
Drake?
Can Caribbean Drake feed into Hotline Bling?
Is Caribbean Drake like is it a real thing?
Yeah.
He's done enough of it.
He's done enough of
Controller still goes up.
I was about to say Controller. Okay,
it's
like One Dance Controller.
Those are two different Drakes.
Controller at the time was that was a pop song.
I think Drake in general is a pop artist.
Like Controller, that was a pop song. Like,
was it? So was would you say Back to Back or just was it?
That's like saying Camila Cabello's what was it?
Is that a song that he did with her?
No.
Oh,
she's just the most pop person.
Oh, yes. No.
It was like when she did Havana.
Oh, with Young Thug.
You know what I mean? It's Latin vibes, but that's
right.
No, but Drake be like speaking patois on his music.
You know, Drake,
like he
Drake
be tapping into the Caribbean.
Most of the times that he does that, it's like I'm gonna do a track to feed into the culture, like when he did the drill track.
That's fair.
Like, it's not like it's like no, I'm gonna do it because I'm trying the thing that I'm trying to feed into the culture, and I fuck with the sound.
Right.
I like this, and I want to be a part of it. And I want to put up the artists that are part of the culture.
Was that not literally Kendrick's whole argument in their beef? That he's not actually feeding into it to be a part of the culture and to like actually appreciate the culture, but to just take the pieces when it's beneficial because it's trendy at that moment.
I think there are two sides. I think it is. I think that is a very good point. That, but that is can only be labeled through what the intention was, and you can never know what something's intention is.
Right. And
that's fair.
Either way, you're doing the same thing. Where
you're
like, oh, there is this culture.
Right.
That's cool, and I fuck with, and I want to bring highlight to. But
bingo.
Do I want to do it because I want a bag, or do I want to do it because I want to put these people on?
Oh, because he wants a bag.
I mean,
Drake
both.
wants a bag.
Both.
But I'm going to transition this into UMG.
Yeah. No.
No, I appreciate it. I wish you were mic'd up so they could like hear. I'm going to try and, oh my God, my editing is about to be so hard. I'm going to try and say this, y'all. If y'all could not pick up any of this in the audio and it just sounds splotchy, yes. What's it called? If you guys didn't hear this on audio, go to YouTube. I feel like he might be able to hear this better on YouTube. I'm gonna like leave in the blanks and I try to fill it in. However, I do want to transition though off that point about Drake and like Kendrick's whole beef when it comes to like, is he actually appreciating the culture or is he essentially appropriating it and just like changing his sound to meet with the trends? We kind of touched on that, but let's go into UMG's case and their response, because when we came in, we actually came in at the same time. Ryan and I were like briefly chatting and he had quite the response. We can't go too into it because I still want to ask you some questions about DJing. But essentially, I'm not going to read the whole statement. What I will say is one of the big points was UMG said verbatim, instead of accepting the loss like the unbothered rap artist he often claims to be, he has sued his own record label in a misguided attempt to solve his wounds. So, how do you feel? Shots fired. No, like people were saying, like, definitely is this a diss track? Like literally the entire. I wish I could read this whole thing to you guys. But in essence of time, I cannot. It's long and it's like a bunch of disses to him. They were like, he's claimed defamation. It's not like us. It's actually not. They've also highlighted his past relationships with Millie Bobby Brown. Like, are you guys calling him a pedophile? Like, I don't really know what's happening here. They're basically not disagreeing with Kendrick. And their other big argument was Drake went into this, which I completely agree. He went into this battle fully, like, willingly to accept whatever was going to come at him. Remember how, like, remember when Drake was like kind of like egging on Kendrick, like, come on, respond, doing the countdowns and stuff.
Yeah.
They talked about that.
Oh, true.
And then they said that, and then once Kendrick responded, they went back and forth over 9 different songs, meaning like you wanted to be fully a part of this, and because you lost, you're now suing us. So how do you feel about that response?
Tough. But yeah, I kind of have, I'm a little on the fence, right?
Okay, why?
Because like on one hand, yeah, Drake's being a little crybaby.
Yeah,
sure. Especially as a rapper. Like, this is part of hip hop,
right?
Suing for rap beef,
please.
What did Meek Mill sued you?
Hello, yes, for literally
making him the lamest dude,
the lamest dude ever, saying that you're like what, opening up for like his woman,
right. Oh man,
and that Nicki was like funding his whole life, like yes,
crazy. But on the other side of that,
yeah.
I feel like the labels could treat their artists a lot better.
Yeah.
Not Drake specifically, but
in general,
I think there is they could pay them more. Even the streaming services, I feel like how they do their deals. The whole system's a little old school, you know?
Yeah, and it's not much change happening. And I think that's when a lot of people were on Drake's side initially, like before he started talking about all this other stuff with defamation, like really honing in on the Kendrick piece.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, and this goes back to what we just talked about, like intentionality. Like, are you actually trying to help artists that are smaller than you?
Right.
Or are you actually butthurt? Because I was ready for this to be a conversation about, like you said, like how artists are treated, how they're used, and that made complete sense to me, right? Like, oh wow, like if you are like not following the rules, and not following the rules is different than using marketing dollars, right? But like actually going against an artist, especially when it comes to their upcoming deal, to basically lessen their net worth or like what you deem them as worth because of something this big.
Right.
Well then yeah, I'm gonna sue you off of that. But it doesn't really seem like that's what this is.
Right, which is why I'm on the fence. Because if he were to be a little more like and low key, shout out to Kanye for a little second before he went off the wire. He was trying to advocate for artists, and he was like,
no, definitely
exposing a lot of these major labels for their contracts. There's a bunch of BS,
a bunch of like what do they call it, 360 deals,
360s,
like absolutely,
you know. And
I also, you mentioned streaming. Jay-Z raps about this a lot. I was actually probably one of the few who had Tidal, but I did appreciate like what he was trying to create. And he rapped about it in 444, how like you guys would rather put money in like white folks' pockets than support not only like a Black community, a Black business owner, but also the artist, because his splits were way better. And that's why so many artists were standing behind him.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. But it's also hard to, I guess, I don't know, because a lot of people, they do want to support. I remember like Taylor Swift like being really against Spotify. Like they were barely paying her. But then it's tough, I feel like, to get people off a platform, you know? Like Tidal probably could have like been it if he came out when Apple's, you know, Spotify were all.
Yeah, it kind of fell off a little bit, but
it fell off. Yeah. And I think he sold it. He sold it to Jack Dorsey, if I'm not mistaken. So it did not pan out well, but
I feel like Drake needs to just have more, I don't know, like cultural value, something about it. Like, what does Drake stand for again? He's been around for a long time. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. For. Yeah, me either.
He
that's
used
funny
to
as hell. The pause. I honestly don't know.
He used to stand for like that geeky dude, you know, and like, that was like kind of like cool lame or lame cool, whatever you want to call it, like that middle class, you know,
very similar to like Kanye, like the Pink Polo Kid, right? Like, okay, in a time where everyone's doing like drill, hard rap, gangster rap, if you will, like I'm coming in making bubblegum rap, if you know, having a good time with this.
He was like singing and rapping, and like that was he kind of made it cool to have a softer side, but like
now like where we at exactly. And I completely agree with
catchy.
It is catchy. I think he does it well. that doesn't mean he should be doing it though. Like when it comes to like just only going to Atlanta, like when he needs that hit.
Right.
And I also, I don't know. But then some people say, but like Drake is helping them by giving them those hits. But is he actually supporting them or? Because I think he benefits just as much as they benefit, and people don't speak about that part.
Right. I think he should speak more about his like Jewish roots.
Wait, that's funny because I mean, what is he rapping about with his Jewish roots?
What he'd be the first rapper to rap about it.
I fear that would lean in too much into everyone calling him a white boy. Okay, I think that would. I think right now that might be too late.
There's a wide open lane for that. Like even going back to Gelo, like going back to there's a lot of hip hop artists that are mixed race or whatever.
Yeah.
Someone's got to lean into it.
Like Logic.
Like
Logic. Logic tried and look what happened. Nobody took him seriously. Nobody took him seriously. So I'm just saying. I'm not disagreeing, but
he
I'm
had
just saying
big,
there have been
big monumental hits. So it's still
people have tried. People did not unfortunately take them seriously.
But Drake has way more like backing than Logic had.
Drake, you need to follow Logic's playbook.
Lean into it.
Lean into your whiteness.
Lean into it.
It's okay. But no, I am curious how UMG is going to pan out. I thought they were just going to settle. It seems like they're hitting him back like, psych. Nope. Let's get into it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Crazy. So I want to transition quickly into interviewing you. And we've talked a lot about like your DJing in general, but I want you to be able to like talk about the origin story of like what got you into DJing and how did you decide to just do it full time?
It's a great question.
Thanks.
Well, yeah. So basically I've always been into music, right? Like when I was younger, my parents were like, play the drums, play the piano.
Yeah.
My dad's a producer and a musician. So I started off producing first.
Okay.
Like songwriting. So I've always loved music.
Yeah.
And in high school, I was throwing these like high school parties for like my senior class and
fun.
Yeah, I that was my first time DJing.
Yeah.
We were just on the aux. I was like,
but carrying a good playlist.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On the little Apple joint going crazy.
Yeah.
Which actually led to where I am now. I started a company with my brothers.
Oh, fun.
And my best friend.
What's the name of the company?
Called the Yellow Party.
Okay, so I'm going to put a little pin in that.
Yeah.
I've heard of Yellow Party. I've never been. I will be hitting you up though once you guys come back. Yeah. But I hear it's like an amazing time.
Oh, for sure.
I was telling some of my friends, I'm like, oh yeah, they always love to know, who are you interviewing this go round? I was like, oh, like Ryn Hills. And they went to your Instagram and was like, Yellow Party? Oh, is he like a DJ? I didn't know you started that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. One of the co-founders. And so before I was like DJing, we were throwing these huge parties in New York.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I don't know how it happened. Like I moved to Atlanta for like a year. Was working with some artists in the studio.
Yeah.
Came back, and this is gonna sound really funny, but I produced this song.
Okay.
And it was a remix that we were gonna play at the Yellow Party.
Okay.
And none of the DJs could figure out a way to transition into the song, so it didn't get played.
Oh.
Right? I was like, yo, this is fire, y'all.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me learn how to.
Really? So that's why.
And yeah, but obviously I love music and I love just, performing and stuff too. So yeah, from then I started booking gigs. I think my first one was at like Savvy Bistro or something in Brooklyn, and then like Kind Regards.
Yeah, which is impressive.
Yeah,
that's where we met, by the way.
Right.
First off, I don't know if you remember this, but I would love to know your reaction to me coming up in there. Y'all, I was so lit. This was like Valentine's Day. And I was like, oh, right. Actually, I will tell you the full story of like why I even came back there. I was like, I had a friend who was in town for her birthday, and she was asking me like where to go out. I'm like, oh, Kind Regards always has really good DJs. That's like a known fact. I'm like, okay, but who's DJing tonight? I'm like, oh, it's a black guy. Okay, Ryn Hills. I followed you, and I was gonna be like, oh, do you have like a guest list? That was the thing. And then he did not hit me up, y'all. He was ignoring.
I didn't see it.
Mind you, it was like hours before, so you were definitely probably prepping for your night. Like 2 hours before he goes on, I'm like, hey. But I was like, okay, that's whatever. I know how to sneak my way into Kind Regards. Like, it's a bunch of us girls. Like, we got downstairs, and I was like, oh wait, but he's actually really good. Like, I kind of want to interview him because I'm doing like a whole New York City like DJ series. And yeah, I just went behind his DJ booth. Mind you, he is in the middle of playing. I'm lit. Ryan, hi, you don't know me, but my name is Kim and I know this DJ and I have this podcast and I would love for you to come on. And he's like, yeah, that DM me in the morning. What? Like, yeah. Like, what is your reaction to that? Because I mean, who is this crazy woman while I'm literally DJing?
No. Honestly, like, you know, we had a great time tonight too, by the way. Like,
it was amazing.
That was a late night. I think just the energy, you know, right time, right place. You could have asked me to I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, no, but obviously, like, you know, I loved your energy from and everything, and you checked it out. I was like, this is dope. So
thank you. No, my friends were cracking up. They were like, look at her working. 2 a.m. working.
Both of us.
Yes, literally. But okay, Yellow Party is really cool. How did you guys come up with that concept?
Right. So my brother actually, Gabe, he's a genius. It was supposed to be a brunch originally.
Okay.
Where everybody just like wore yellow because black people look really good in yellow.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just picked up steam, and we couldn't find like a restaurant that was like big enough to hold everybody that was interested. So we just threw a party. This is in 2019. And
wow.
It went viral and stuff.
Yeah.
And we did like 2 more that year, and they were all just really, really big and successful. And
that's so exciting.
Kind of been going ever since.
That's amazing, though. I didn't know it's been going on since 2019. That's crazy. Yeah. How does it like working with your brothers?
It's so cool.
Do you think it's cool? Actually? Okay. Because some people be like, they piss me off, but I love them.
We're like actually close.
Oh, okay.
I like to compare ourselves to like the Wayans brothers, how they're all close and cool.
That's sweet.
And everyone has their own like personality and their own thing.
Yeah.
Brandon went to Howard, you know, he's
yeah.
He works for Can Lions now, and
okay.
Gabe's a lawyer.
Oh wow.
I'm a DJ.
Wow.
Tim works in finance and he's a real estate. So we're all like kind of different, you know.
Yeah. And then you come together for this. I love that. No, that sounds like an amazing time.
Work hard, play hard.
Yes, exactly. I definitely am gonna check it out this summer. I'm so excited. And then back to like, how did you decide to do this full time?
So I had a couple of gigs. And actually, speaking of the other party, at that time we were like transitioning and kind of revamping our brand and just our vision. So we were going to scale back on the parties. But I had been picking up steam as a DJ. Yeah. And people were like, yo, when are you going to throw a party? When can I? And I was telling like my brothers, like, y'all want to scale back or do y'all want to keep going? Because
they're asking. Yeah.
And literally just relationships and demand was there, and I have a passion for it. So kind of
that's exciting.
Turned into a full-time thing.
It's exciting that you're able to how do I say it? It's like create your own schedule too. Like it seems like you have a lot of freedom.
Yeah, you know.
Is it stressful though?
It can be for sure. Yeah, a lot of the venues, you know, we're still a Black-owned company. So there's some hurdles there. They're like, oh, we don't want events. You know, we don't have enough security. Like, what do you?
Oh, security.
Yeah, right. You know,
mind you, isn't it like a day party?
Yeah, and everyone's grown and professional.
Right.
And,
right. Got it.
But you know, so there's certain points that can, yeah. But when it comes together, it's lit.
That's exciting. Okay, I have 2 more quick questions for you. What has been a quick story of like favorite night ever, like DJing Was there, or like day? Because I know you say sometimes you have like 3 events in one day.
Oh man, yeah. Ooh, dang. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a great question. Just the one off top of the head probably comes back to the Yellow Party last year.
Okay.
Or the first Yellow Party that we did. But last year was so much fun. It was at Harbor.
Okay.
And it was my first time like DJing in front of like a, crowd of like, I think it was like 1,000 people there.
Oh wow.
And it was so vibrant and really mixed and diverse. And one thing about me, I like to play a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Unless there's like a theme that I'm sticking to.
Yeah.
And the crowd just ate it up. I mean,
what's your pocket? I meant to ask you that because I had another DJ that was like funk or house or like old school like R&B. Like, do you feel like you have a pocket?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the crowd. I like to play into the crowd.
So you feel like you cater towards the crowd?
I definitely cater to the crowd.
Interesting, because he was opposite. He felt like he goes to certain venues that like want a certain sound. Interesting. Okay.
I grew up listening to everything.
Yeah.
I mean, from Marvin Gaye to Jeezy to Blink 182. Like, so if I can find a crowd that kind of likes a little bit of everything, that's my favorite pocket.
Love that. And that leads me to my final question of how are you able to, well, actually, that's not true. I have 2 more questions. Yeah. But how are you able to, like, kind of read the crowd's energy when it comes to music and like tying that into song requests? I would want to ask every DJ I interview, like, do you actually like song requests?
Yeah.
And then like tying that into how do you curate basically the full experience?
That's a great question. For me, my ethos, if you will, is I always like to cater to Black women. If I don't know what I'm doing, if I don't know where to go, I always, I have like 4 or 5 sisters. I mean, I lost track.
This is a big family.
It's a huge family.
Oh my God.
And my older sisters like raised me on a lot of like music, Alicia Keys, everything growing up. So I always kind of come back to like, what would Black women like? What would my sisters like?
I love it. I love it.
That's where I lean into.
That's a clip. That's a clip.
Yeah. And just as far as like song requests, to be honest, I'm always a student to the game. I don't love them, but again, going back to catering to the audience, I think it's interesting to hear what people like to hear. And if it's a good song, it might get played, but it might not.
That's actually hilarious. Have you ever had something where you're like, yeah, this is trash? Like, I'm actually like, thank you for your country recommendation.
No, yeah,
I'm playing hip hop, but now
I've had people be like, play my new mixtape song.
Oh my gosh. Wait, that's hilarious. Like I need to listen to that first.
Right. No, really
though. Oh my gosh. Okay, the final question, I swear. Where do you see yourself taking this? Like in the next 5 years always scares people, so I'll start with 1.
Ooh, that's a great question. So again, I've always been a producer, songwriter. DJing is like my new favorite thing, but I want to hopefully combine all those worlds together. And I look at a guy like Mustard or like K-Tronada, these guys who are touring DJs and they're working with artists and rocking parties. I like to think I'm gonna
get there. No, absolutely.
Combine those worlds.
Absolutely. No, that's so exciting. I love that you referenced K-Tronada because it's like just working with artists. That is how you like blend it all together, like being a DJ, producer. And I think the beauty of like why his songs do so well is because since he has that DJing background, he knows what's actually going to perform well,
Exactly.
It's easier to make hits.
I got plenty of hits to give. So.
That's so exciting. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Ken.
Do you have like any upcoming events that you want to promote or you want to share like your socials?
Yeah. Ryn Hills. You can follow me everywhere at Ryn Hills, spelled RYN Hills, HILLS. May 17th, Yellow Party is going to be huge, bigger than ever. We have a crazy lineup already locked in.
Oh, wow.
Super excited about it. So May 17th,
are you
Yellow
gonna be
Party.
DJing?
I'm going to be DJing. Yeah.
Can you give us any hints of like who? Is that a big secret?
It's an incredible lineup. It's an incredible lineup. I'll just say that much.
All right. We'll stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
And yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. And thank you guys for watching if you're watching on YouTube, and listening if you're listening on audio. And I'll catch you guys next Wednesday. Bye.